So y'all see the title and it says someone just got laid off, but they're partying. And how this world have you feeling right now? How this world have you feeling? And it's All Star Sunday today. Last Sunday was Super Bowl Sunday. So people have been partying for the last week and a few couple of days. And I still continue to see these videos where people have gotten laid off. We're seeing more and more layoffs. And but at the same time, you see all of these from the Super Bowl parties, now the All Star parties. It's people who got laid off, but somewhere they still partying. You wouldn't even know that they got laid off unless they told you. Unless they put up one of these videos that are out here. I just saw another one by someone named Kari Download, I think Khari. He said he got laid off. I think he got the CDL, and he said he started a business the next day. Now, obviously, you start a business the next day, you ain't making no profit just yet, but this is what he put on his YouTube channel, and it's got thousands of views. But at the same token, you got people who don't put that on there, but you just never know what people are going through, because you got people about to go to an all-star party today somewhere, watch the game, the little 4-game tournament that they got going on. They was partying all this weekend. Everything is closed tomorrow for the President's Day holiday. So you got people who got laid off, and they're still gonna be somewhere partying. But then you got the exact opposite of that, of someone who got laid off and they just gonna be hibernating and sad. Makes sense though. You just got laid off. You start trying to get all your ducks in a row. You don't know where the next finances are going to come from. And so now the world has you feeling some type of way. So how does the world have you feeling right now? Whether you've been laid off or maybe not. And I know I've said in past videos, not even just on videos, how you see people putting their A's and their B's on this internet, on YouTube, Facebook, all of that, but they never put their D's and their F's. But that's not true. Some people do put their D's and their F's out here. They let their hair down and they become vulnerable enough to actually put out, I lost my job, if that's a D or an F. I don't consider I lost my job posts or videos or people saying how a family member passed away. I don't think that's a D or an F. That's just people kind of being open and honest about their situation. I know 3 people who've lost their parent from since January 18th to February 12th. My cousins, there's 2 boys, their mother, my auntie, a lady who used to do the nails at this barbershop I used to go to years ago, her mother, and her funeral was just February 13th. And a friend of mine, his dad, went to the other side on February 12th. So, I know the world for them right now is definitely upside down. Losing someone, losing a parent, especially if that's your last parent. And so now you're in a world with, no parents. So that's a whole nother situation to adjust to. You don't even have one parent to go to at that point. So the world, I'm sure, has them feeling upside down right now, and it's going to take time, to heal from that. And it won't happen none at all in 2025. They'll be dealing with this. I know from personal experience with my dad back in 2019. And so that just goes back to my question with, how does this world have you feeling? Do you think it's, I think people are complaining a lot more than ever. Seeing videos of people complaining about how they can't afford their mortgage or their rent, even though they're still working. It's just the ends are not meeting. So I think people are complaining a lot more these days. Of course, grocery store prices, the whole egg thing, overpriced houses, overpriced vehicles, all of that. And so it's got people feeling some type of way. I know me and my mother had this conversation. She thinks the world is too digital. She said everything is an app and a password. App and password, app and password. I know when you go to some websites, I know one website I go to look up movies is imdb.com. They ask you, do you want to continue on the site or go through the app? Then I always continue on the site. I'm not about to install the app just to read what I can read on the website. Or some of these restaurants, you go through the drive-through and they'll ask you, are you paying with our mobile app today? And you got to tell them, no, I'm paying with cash or whatever the case is. And my mother just does not like it. She says apps and passwords, apps and passwords. I don't know if it's a generational thing. You know, my mother is a baby boomer, so she's from that generation. But she's not with the apps or the passwords, nothing like that. She said it's too much to remember. She just wants things to be simple. So you have people complaining about that. You got people complaining about their relationship situation. You know, you got people out here living with someone only because if they break up, then they got to move back home with their parents or grandparents, whatever the case may be. So it's like they're Section 8ing each other. If he decide he want out, she got to go back and live with her parents. If she decide that she want out, he got to go back and live with his parents. Well, it might be that on both of them. So I always say in relationships, have enough money to stay, have enough money to leave. That's just me. So you're not in that situation. And so, you know, it's just so much going on. I saw a video of a lady who was complaining about how her husband is no longer showing her attention anymore because she's gained weight. And so when I talk about everybody only putting their A's and their B's, there are a handful of people out here who put their D's and their F's on here. They'll actually open up and be vulnerable online. And I guess if you can't be vulnerable with yourself first, then you can't be vulnerable in a relationship either. And so she actually put that video out there. You know, Anton Daniels reviewed it on his YouTube channel. So, you know, that would be something I consider someone's D or an F. Not that your D and your F is a horrible thing, but it's just where you taking an L on something. Maybe you just don't know what to do with your child. They've been arrested for the third time, and that's the one you worry about. And you don't know if they just need to go to the armed services because they can't make it out here in the world on the path that they're currently on. And so people might post about that. You know, that's a D or an F. There actually are people who put some D's and F's about their lives online. And I mean major things. I don't mean you bored or you got a flat tire, stuff like that. Some people honestly don't have any D's or F's to put on there, and that's fine too. But there's plenty of them out there, and there are people who will have that, and they got every right to do that. Then you got those who will open up, and then it helps somebody else who's going through the same thing. Some other lady or man out here who's not getting attention, some man who's not getting attention from his lady for whatever reason. People who've been, like I said, been laid off, but you're not even going to know it. They gonna be at the All-Star game party, whatever, watching the game. You won't have any type of inkling that they unemployed right now. They just got laid off last week. Got laid off on Valentine's Day, whatever the case may be. And so you look at how this world has people feeling and how people react to the world. You know, it's crazy days out here. People, it's a lot of unknowns, a lot of uncertainty, especially with Trump being in office and some people feeling what he's doing, others are upset. They feel he's going to make things more expensive. Some people even thinking with the United States being in Gaza, I've seen people doing videos saying that could cause a war because people don't like the United States taking over that Gaza strip over there. So, I mean, it's just so much to be on the lookout for as we continue to go through 2025. And people just going through their own personal things in the world, covering up things, just to make themselves look a certain way. Because we got to keep our appearances up online. Isn't that right? And so, like I said, no one has to put their D's and their F's on this here internet. But, shout out to those who are vulnerable enough to do it if there's something to say and they feel like putting it on there. They looking for probably some type of feedback, some type of therapy. If you see the video and you're going through it, hey, comment on it. Maybe you all can help heal each other. I mean, your story, our story is never ours alone. So many people in this world. It's always so many going through the same thing you're going through. And so it's just, I guess it's a time where people just really have to, tighten up. It's not the easiest thing to do. If you're having trouble with your mortgage or rent, or you in a situationship where you can't lead a relationship because you have to move back home with your parents because you don't have enough money to be on your own just yet. And so you're like a relationship slave, something like that. If you just lost someone, you just lost your mom or your dad, hang in there and be faithful. That's going to take time. And it almost feels like when you lose someone, the world is still moving at its same pace. But for you, you may just feel like it's at a standstill. And no one has absolutely any idea why it's at a standstill for you. And they wouldn't. They didn't know who just passed away in your family. But that's just what it feels like. You out there and people just operating as normal. You see the bus, you see the train, you see the Uber, you see the Lyft. But it has stopped for you. Nothing's picking you up right now because you don't lost someone. So it's a void there. And some people put that, like I said, they put that on the internet just to let everybody know they prayers I needed and I'm going through it. My mother gone, my dad gone, stuff like that. And then some people just cover up their pain, like I get laid off from the job and hey, you still out here partying. No one knows. You're trying to keep everything in the line and just have everybody viewing you as the way you want to be looked at. Image is real important to people, and saying that I got laid off is not what's up with some people. Then you got the other set of people who I said are vulnerable, and they don't have to be. At least it's okay to be vulnerable. You don't have to do it online, but the ones that put it on there just to give a different perspective, since they talk about people who are down or are depressed from looking at stuff online because you keep seeing one big party on Facebook, on Instagram, on X. But then you come across this other side of the internet where you got people willing to open up and they talk about how they just got laid off. Live recordings of the HR laying them off, there's videos like that out there. And so people get a chance to see more of this other side of humanity and not just like everybody seems to be getting it and everything's cool. I saw a video of people in Miami 8 a.m. because it's already 80 degrees and they already at the bar and they outside tanning. It's almost like it's not real. I love that weather. I wish it was 80. Up here in Illinois, not yet. We gotta wait, it's only February. But just, you see stuff like that and then you come back over to your situation. Even if, you're dealing with a mother or father who just passed away, and it's just like the whole world is just passing you by while you at a standstill because you don't lost something. Or whatever you may be going through, the loss of a job, the loss of a child, complaining about, behind on, mortgage or other payments. And then you come across videos of people in Miami and you just like, and that depresses a lot of people. So when you get this other side of people, and they are on this internet, they still outnumbered by everybody who's just partying. But you do got that side of the internet where people are opening up and they really letting you into their soul about what's going wrong. And so now you can relate more to that. And it might be more therapeutic for you and giving you more strength to, go on in this world. Because unless the world doesn't care about us, it just doesn't. It probably did thousands of years ago, but not at this point. And it's by world, I just mean people. And I still think it's pockets of people you can attract that actually care about you. And when I say don't care about you, I'm not saying they would run you over in a vehicle, but it's just they don't have time to listen. Not that they're going to necessarily come at you and harm you, try and steal from you, but they just don't have time to listen. It's just not enough time in the day and too many problems, not enough answers. And so when I say the world doesn't care about you, that's what I mean. Not that everybody out here is just negative. I mean, the negative outweighs the positive. Right now, I heard I was listening to Brother Rich on his channel, Black Magic 363, and he talked about how he heard, the video is still up there, he talked about how he heard about, it's a study that takes 16 negatives to beat one positive. And that's interesting. I can believe it. In this world that I'm talking about, like I said, how this world have you feeling? You know, a lot of people not feeling too good, they're not feeling too right. And you know that there's so much negativity. The news, turn off the TV just outside your front door. And so then a lot of people just not being honest, you know, with themselves. Even with, you know, everything that you may see get put out there and it looks good. You know, we got to be 100% honest. And so some people go start chasing that 2.5, 3 bedroom house and vehicle that they want and figuring that's going to make them feel better, and then it won't, because it's just a side effect. It's just a resource. It's nothing that's going to complete you internally. It's just external things. It's cool to have. It's nice to have. And then they'll get that and then put it online, but it still doesn't really fill them up where they need to actually be made whole at or be made complete at. And so again, that's part of the A's and B's that people put up, but the real test is the D's and the F's, and can you turn those into something else? You know, the whole internet, even if you just not even taking Miami and saying that's just a playground, the internet is a playground until you at least run into the people that's every once in a while will put up a post or a video about they don't know what their next move is supposed to be. They're lost. They're crying in their car. Don't know what they're going to do with this child. You know, they really breaking their neck trying to raise this child right, but the child just keeps going left. And the people that's raising the children by themselves, all of those type of things. Not getting support from the mom or not getting support from the dad. That's when you run into, you know, some real life situations on the internet. And those are there. But for the most part, you know, don't get caught up in the internet because it's just one big playground, like I just said. All you're going to do as you go down your timeline, you're just going to see people having a good time, which is fine. But we know the outside world is not like that. You scroll, and you see people giving toasts and people stepping and people at sports games. But that's not the whole 100% real. And that's just something that we got to come to grips with and understand that. But I say you have to learn to be vulnerable with yourself first before any relationship or with someone else open up to you. However that looks. You can record a video like this or just sit and think. Just sit at home. Silent. See? Sit home. Sit in your living room. And just let it all come to you. A lot of people are afraid to do that. It's completely silent in here right now as I record this. TV is on mute. And it's just me. And I'm able to sit here and have this conversation. Now, to a lot of people, this feels weird because it's just you and the camera, but you can see yourself in the camera. So the way I look at it, and I'm able to continue to keep having this dialogue, is I see myself on this camera, so I'm talking in the mirror. I'm looking right back at myself and just flowing and just going and throwing the ideas out there and making the conversation. And so if that's what you need to do, not that you need to record it, if you can't find someone else to talk to, just meditate. Sit down on the couch and don't be afraid and let them thoughts come to you. I had a guy tell me one time he had to drive from Chicago to Indianapolis. I think that's a 3-hour drive. He told me this a while ago, and he had said he didn't want to make the drive because he was like, that's when those thoughts come to you. It's just him on the road, and it's him against nature. You making that drive and you just see everything on your way there, and it's nobody but him. And a lot of people are afraid to have that just at home, because there's nothing to distract you. And so here those thoughts come. But those thoughts are things that you still haven't corrected. And so people keep running from those. Which is why, again, you only see the A's and the B's on this internet here, because it's people running from their D's and their F's. And so that's something to always take into consideration for you people who are down right now. And I'm not talking about people who have lost a mother or a father recently. I'm talking about those who, got laid off from the job, and you not out here still partying as, let's say it's a coping mechanism. You just not in the mood, and I understand that. Or your child is in jail, or your child is not doing well in school, or you struggling to pay your mortgage or your rent, or you can't leave the relationship due to finances. Relationship is basically at its end, but you don't have enough to leave. And you're not trying to run from things, you just don't know where else to go. Understand that what you're seeing on the internet, once you go on there and you see everybody seeming to have a good time, that's not the whole full spectrum of what you're seeing. Always remember that. And those thoughts that come in when you're alone, those are the things that you need to answer. And then also, just stop trying to chase a lifestyle to impress people that may not really even care about you. You got people who get into financial trouble, mortgage or rent, trying to keep up a certain look. And it's almost like people trying to entertain other people. Hey, look at how I'm living right now and how I'm set up. But it's all a facade. It's not real. Your life is fake. And so you keep trying to keep up with this fake lifestyle, and then you run into errors. You run into downfalls. You see little holes that you should have been able to fill in, but you're so busy chasing this look and want to be looked at a certain way. So many people scared of not fitting in and even being called a lame, so they don't even want to even deal with their own feelings. I don't know if that makes them feel like they're weak, or you opening up something to where people can take advantage of you. I don't think that's the case. People need to heal, and that's where a lot of us are going wrong, because you don't have no outlet. You can't talk, and the people you talk to respond. They listen to respond. They don't listen to hear, and that's where a lot of people are going wrong with, where they don't have anybody they can talk to, because people are not hearing them. They just want to hear themselves talk and respond back to your issues. And then if the person you're talking to is a narcissist, they're going to turn it into something about them. Now, it's okay to use examples about if they've been going through something similar, but they'll flip it and then just put the problem on them and then kind of have you now discussing their problem when you came to them first with your issue, and it's not even about them. And so sometimes that's why these type of outlets, if you feel comfortable and it doesn't feel weird to you, turn on your camera and just talk. You don't necessarily have to put it on YouTube like this, but you record yourself, play it back, listen to yourself, and then try and answer some of the questions that you may have said in your own video. Listening to the playback of yourself. Don't worry about how you sound. Just go from there, and then that can be step one to your own therapy, your own self-help, your own better help. I mean, everybody can't just shake it off and party. The whole world is not a party. It's not all entertainment. The world will have you feeling some type of way. And it can drive you straight to the moon and out of your mind if you let it. If you let the world do this to you, it will drive you to the moon. And you'll be out of your mind trying to keep up with things and make sure you look this way to this group and look that way to this group just so you can get accepted. And you just at that point putting too much pressure on yourself. It's not really worth it. So it's crazy out here, and so many people trying to find a way to make it and navigate. And no one has all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I'm still learning. And, like I said, everything is not a party. It's okay to party sometimes, but I hope you're partying to enjoy and not partying to escape. There's two different kinds of enjoyment out here. It's a lot of people that's partying to escape too. And that's not healthy. And that's why they always looking for the next event, the next get together, whatever it is. Because once they get left alone to themselves, their own devices, and the thoughts come in, they don't know how to process anything. They need someone to talk to and let it out, but they don't have that. It's just a whole bunch of noise when they do talk to someone. So they say, because these people aren't listening to them to actually help out. They're just listening to respond, like I said. So they figure that. So that just turns into a lot of noise. So they figure, wow, don't I go to a party where it's noise that I can enjoy? But nothing's getting corrected, and they still are just partying to escape. They're not partying for no type of enjoyment. The only way you can truly celebrate and enjoy it is to first do the internal work, whether it's taking a drive, a 3-hour drive, and let them thoughts come to you, or you sit on your couch and mute the TV and just kind of let things come to you. Because everybody know in the back of their head what they're going through, and we like to kind of cancel out all of those thoughts because it's going to cause us to be vulnerable and deal with our D's and our F's. But we got to turn those grades around if we truly going to be feeling on the upside when it comes to this world. Because this world will throw you away. Like I said, the world doesn't care about you just because it's just not enough time in the day for people to try and deal with their issues and then listen to yours. I mean, you can navigate and find some people who not going through it the same way you are, that got a little bit more leg room. Because there are people who don't really have D's and F's like that. Like I say, the most they're dealing with, I got to get my tire replaced. I hit a nail, stuff like that. Just minor stuff. Nothing really pressing, They might not have any children, so that's not a factor. You're not worried about raising another human being. And so them people may have a little bit more time to actually listen to you if you have one or two of those in your life right now. But if you got everybody in your circle and you all are really dealing with some major D's and F's, I mean, you all could help each other as a group, or sometimes it's the opposite, and you all get together and just party to try and numb the pain that you're all going through. And so nothing ever gets healed, nothing ever gets corrected. So it can also work against you in that, if it's something like that, and those are the people you around. But everybody has to find a way to be vulnerable. You don't have to do it, like I said, online like this, but just get somewhere and just think and write down the questions that you have about your situation that's not correct. How am I going to pay this? How am I going to move here? How am I going to get out of this relationship without having the finances that I need? How do I get the money I need so I can break up with this person and be able to live comfortably on my own? Is the option that you need to do, is it so bad if you can? Because not everybody has parents to go home to if they break up with this person. And so you're stuck. You don't have enough money to go live on your own. So the question of how do I increase my money so I can break up with this person? Because the relationship is already over. You all are basically roommates, so I can move out. That thing. How do I keep my son or my daughter on the straight and narrow? How do I get my rent or mortgage paid on time? How do I adjust my lifestyle? How do I lower it? What can I get rid of? What can I cancel? Write all of those things down. In silence, like I said, sit at home, sit in your living room, sit in the living room, mute everything, whatever music you got playing, whatever's playing on the TV, mute it all, and write down those questions, and then write down your answers, what you think the answers are supposed to be. They're subject to change. And if recording the answers, recording the questions, and then recording the answers help, do that too. And it's your own personal recording. No one has to see it. But if you feel your situation can help someone, then put your D's and your F's on your Facebook, on your Instagram too, or on your YouTube. Unless somebody else, hear. Maybe the answer you can't find once someone sees your video, they can help with a solution, a resolution. You just never know. Once you put the question out there in the universe will answer you back in the form of a person, in the form of a movie, in the form of someone's video, a song. You just never know, a song you never heard before. So keep all of that in mind, because otherwise this world will have you feeling down in the dumps, and no one will be there to give you a hand or pull you up out of it either, because there's just so much other stuff to worry about. Just cost of living, making the next payment, raising this child, trying to see if we can improve this relationship, ending this relationship, moving to a new location. It's just not enough time, like I said, in the day for other people to try and, help you out, unless you have someone who is more stable and more solid, who got time to actually listen to hear you. Not listen to respond, but listen to hear. Those are two different things. But other than that, the world doesn't have time to care about you or me. And so I don't know how the world has you feeling right now. Is it feeling down, feeling up, feeling strong, feeling conscious, feeling courageous, feeling scared? Where my next dollar is going to come from? I just got laid off, but I'm still partying. I got to keep my image up. You can't see my D's or my F's. Or maybe this time you can. Like the lady said, her husband won't pay her no attention because she gained some weight. And Ty Daniels reviewed that video on his YouTube channel. I haven't watched it, but that's the title of his video about that. She's putting her D's and her F's out there about her relationship. So be honest with yourself, first and foremost. Be honest and be vulnerable with yourself to try and first navigate these things and get stuff figured out. And turn off the TV and your social media if you have to as well. Unless you got something constructive on there that can really help you navigate these waters, and stuff gets deep. It's so much suffering going on. And like I said, the social media only shows part of it. It's a playground. It's not real. You get some real on there every once in a while with people that just need an outlet, somewhere to vent, looking for a solution, like I said. But most of the time, you're just going to get A's and B's, and everything just look squeaky clean, and everybody's ducks are in a row, and every post as you scroll, like I said, is one big party. But don't get caught up into that. Some people that's is their real situation, but they've been open, they've been vulnerable. Their lifestyle is not above their head, and they've managed to find a solution. And so they are able, when they do party and hang out and they put that on the internet, that's how it is offline as well, if you actually know those people. It's not just, okay, I see them doing this, but something's going on with their brother or their sister or their friend over here that they're not letting you see. So just remember that. But, this world, don't get caught up in it. I guess that's my best advice. And if you are caught up in it, how do you feel you can get out of it? Or do you feel you a lost cause? Or do you feel there's light at the end of the tunnel? Put that down in the comments. Let me know what you're going through. Or let anybody else who sees this video know down in the comments what you're going through. You'd be surprised who might see your comment and respond. I had another video on here called No One Dies. And someone commented about how they were thinking about taking themselves out of this world. And, after seeing that video that I put up, No One Dies, on my channel, they were talking about how that made them change their mind. And I responded and said, I'm glad that video helped change your situation. And I told them, please don't take yourself out of here. Don't give up like that. And so you just never know who's watching you or what you might see that can help you with your situation. Just right here down in the comments. So as always, put your situation and how does this world have you feeling right now? If you've just been laid off from your job, are you out here partying, or are you out here hibernating? Like, I have to find a way to make sure I get all of my dollars and pennies together until I can get another source of income. Like they got Kari, who got laid off from his truck driving job and said he started a business the next day. If you got enough cash saved up to do that after your layoff, then by all means, and just wait for it to start, making you a profit. And then to those who don't, again, I understand. And you just never know who you might meet in these comments. If you share your story, if you feel open enough to put your situation in the comments, not your A's and your B's, but your D's and your F's based on how the world has you feeling. And maybe you are getting A's and B's right now, but the world, you're still mindful of everything else that's going on, and you don't just put yourself in a bubble. And so you feel like the world still has you feeling like, man, when is things going to get better, when the things going to improve? just for people in general. However the world has you feeling right now, irregardless if, you have all your ducks in a row. Put all of that down in the comments. Let's continue to open up and try and be vulnerable and, heal each other. And let's not front and beat around the bush and make it seem like it's not what it is. Let me know all of that down in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. As always, get this video out here. The channel is Facts of Feelings. That's all one word, no spaces. Put Facts of Feelings in the YouTube search, no spaces, and my channel comes right up. And I guess I'll leave you all with this. Like they say, be in this world, not of it, until you can leave it. Be in this world, not of it, until you can leave it. I'll see you all later.